Today, I'm going to show you how I use AI to make my newest illustration. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to show you how I made my support real artist, not generative AI trash poster. Now, the very beginning stages of this piece, I didn't record because I didn't think it was going to turn out very well. So we're going to skip kind of the sketching process because I just didn't film it. But I do have the Procreate time lapse. We can start there. First time doing a voiceover, so bear with me here. So of course the Procreate time lapse starts with the finished piece, so you can see how the finished line art is going to look. Surprise, spoiler. I worked mostly with the tech pen, which I believe came with Procreate. I'm fairly certain. But I use it to do my beginning ink work, tightening up my sad little sketch that's underneath here. And you can see I'm going in, I'm filling in. Well, there was a brief little flash of the red pencil lines. So now I use a custom Micron brush for the hair texture. Because the tech pen is very glossy, it's very slick, which is how I normally draw traditionally. I ink with a very slick line, which just means there's not a lot of texture to it. It's just very purposeful, I guess, very technical. So the Micron pen gives me the ability to make textured style hair, gives a little grit. And since I wanted her hair to be curly and textured like it is in the reference photo that my friend sent me to work from, which I may include in this because YouTube seems to not like the reference photo. TikTok did not, but we'll see. So textured hair, Micron brush pen allows me to get those waves and curls in there. The tech pen, as you can see with the outline of her body, it's very slick. And then the face, you can see I got the eyeballs. I don't know how I drew the eyeballs. So, but you know, hey, I did it. It's okay. I caught it before coloring it, so yay me. And then with the tattoo, I knew I wanted her to have a leg tattoo. I just had no idea what kind of leg tattoo because Steph has tattoos, but obviously, as you can see in the photo, not a leg tattoo. So I tried different ones. I found ones online. I just imported and I was tracing over them to see how they would look. And I didn't really like any of the ones I found. Thought it would. Obviously, I wouldn't have downloaded them. But eventually I wound up just going with a flower pattern to match the wood nymph Stephanie drawing that I did, which I will show you now. So it kind of ties together a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, it's enough to. So here I just putting the leg tattoo on, trying to get it to bend with the form of the figure. Hopefully I was successful at that. Again, just using the tech pen to create that. So a mono thickness, like a mono thick line. No real variance in thickness. And so I was trying, I thought about doing the vines to tie in with the wood nymph piece. And then I just added some, I use a lace brush for the mesh on her leg. And then you see I was going to do a no AI tattoo on her arm, but thought that's a little too much. And then I added some chains just to have it tie into other pieces that will be in the same sketchbook that this one will be in. So if you're wondering why the chains are there, that's why. So now in Photoshop, so I export from Procreate to Photoshop because Photoshop allows me to keep the colors printable. It's just easier to track the colors and make sure that they're going to stay looking the way I need them to when it prints. So got the flats done in Photoshop, new layer for renders. Now, I did this on Twitch. I actually streamed this whole process, but my computer was not happy. when doing the selections on the hair to add the highlights, the computer just absolutely chugged. I think it shows up in the VOD here, even with the time lapse. And this is sped up. It took me like an hour to color, and this is like what 7 minutes now, I think. So it's like 800% sped up. But just going through, I use a textured brush set to screen with the opacity at like 50% and flow at 50%. And if you go over the selection, it'll lighten it, and you obviously go over it again. It'll make it even brighter. So that's how I make my highlights. So I just make weird little selections to emulate the light reflection. So you can see just a brush set to multiply. And then for shadows, I have a layer set to multiply. And I use this purple color that I will put the code for on the screen here, because I just randomly, if you saw in the Procreate screen, I imported a bunch of color swatches. Those color swatches are what I'm using to do skin tones. I don't remember. I have them saved, so I can just import it like that. And so here I'm adding that purple to that multiply layer to give the hair a little more depth, like the shadows. And then of course I can't just have her normal hair color. That's boring. I cannot have her have her normal hair color. So I had to adjust it, and I didn't mean for it to be purple, because as you saw, I was doing the sliders, but it just worked out. So it matches, Christy Anders, the main character in my self-published comic book series, Shinju. Was not on purpose, but it's a nice little coincidence. So here I am using that same brush to do the highlights of her skin. And I'm just using a yellow hue right now. And I switched to like a chalk brush. Like a chalk. I think I wind up deleting all of this and doing it again, honestly. And then again, the purple. Purple for the shadows. And I'm not even using, normally I use the lasso tool to make selections, but I think I'm just freeforming it right now. Using that same, yeah, I'm still using the hi-fi brush for everything. I really, really thought I deleted this and started over. Let's see. Let's keep watching and see what happens. Maybe I'm misremembering. I love how it looks like Joker makeup right now without anything else being rendered. It looks so horrible. That's why you have to trust the process. You really have to trust the process. Okay, so yeah. Oh yeah, I see the computer was lagging, so it dragged the shadows layer. So yeah, just more of that purple, and it's a rose, like a rosish red color that I also add to the skin to give it more texture. I do believe I tone it down because right now it looks pretty strong, but again, trusting the process. It's adding some highlights. And again, the shadows. I really, really thought I started the face over. Yeah. Then again, let's continue on with so Hi-Fi is a comic book coloring studio that I worked for back in the early 2000s for like 5 years, coloring comic books for Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse. And that's how I learned to properly flat and color my work for print. You can color your work all day long, but getting it to print correctly is a skill completely unto itself that I've talked about before on this channel. Ink limits are very important. So here I'm just continuing to use that same hi-fi brush, which the brush you can actually get, I believe, from hi-fi's website. I got it when I ordered their I kicked back their Kickstarter for the how to color comics the hi-fi way. Yeah. And so even though the piece has no real actual lighting, I wanted to do a rim light anyway, just to help her, because I knew I was going to do a textured background, which I don't think I recorded, but I wanted to do a textured background. And so I added the rim light to help her pop. When I added that, because it was going to be a, well, I'll show you. That was the majority of how I colored her. The only thing I did not do on stream was their fingernails and her lips, because the computer was just being too wonky at that time. Okay, so now you can see, let's do this. You can see how the finished piece came out with a textured background. And what I did was up top here, you can see, well, you can kind of see, I have it at a 40% opacity here. But this is it's a tea stained paper texture that I used, that I masked off the lettering and the border and set to 40% opacity. And then I added this parchment paper. I don't remember where I got this from, but that was just for the lettering. I think it might be on no, I think I took it off. Yeah, I took it off of the border, because when I printed it, I knew it wouldn't show up anyway. So there's just a little bit of texture in the lettering, but it all also goes with the line art, covers it up, gives it a little more realistic feeling to it. And then this is just some extra grit, and that makes, as you can see, like the blacks look a little more rough. And is there anything? I think that's really the only extra bits I did off of stream. Like, I finished her lips, so I gave those the purple. I think I made them gray, actually, make it more goth. But I gave it a purple hue when I added the little glow over her. Because you can see if I take the paper textures off, you can see that glow is still there, and her color still kind of pop. And then, oh, I forgot about this paper texture. I forgot I added that one too. Yeah. So we add those back on. You can see how it kind of desaturates her. So I had to make sure that she didn't blend into the background too much. So that is how I made my support real artist, not generative AI trash poster, start to finish. I probably should have called this how I use AI as an artist, and then had AI mean like artist imagination or artist integrity or something like that. Can I still do that? Is it too late? Is it too late? I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you how I use AI as an artist. Today, I'm going to show you how I use AI as an artist. Wait, today I'm going to show you how I use AI to make my newest illustration. And then I get to the end of the video here and I go, and that is how I use my artistic imagination to create this poster. Does that work? I guess I'll just leave this all in and figure it out. We'll see. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really liked the video, hit the subscribe button and a little bell notification. And I will see you in the next one.